Your body is made up of trillions of cells. Without DNA, those cells wouldn't know how to work together to keep you alive. In other words, DNA is the instruction manual for life. But what exactly is it? DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. You probably already know that DNA is stored in the nucleus of a cell, and that it's shaped like a double helix, kind of like a twisted ladder. But what makes DNA so powerful? It all has to do with the rungs of that ladder. Each rung is made of 4 different chemicals called bases. The bases are adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine, or a TG and C for short. The way these bases pair up gives DNA its unique code. A always pairs with T and G always pairs with C. Since the bases on either side of the ladder pair up, the sequence of one side determines the sequence of the other. This complementary base pairing means that the information in DNA is always conserved. So if we know the sequence of one side of the ladder, we can figure out the sequence of the other side. These base pairs are the language of life. Just like English, French, and Spanish have different words but the same grammar. All living things use the same DNA language, but the sequence of the bases is different, which gives each organism its unique traits. The sequence of bases determines how our bodies build proteins, which carry out most of the functions in our cells. Proteins are made up of amino acids, which are the building blocks of life. But there's more to a protein than just its amino acids. How those amino acids are arranged in the protein determines its shape, and it's the shape of the protein that allows it to perform a specific task. For example, some proteins are enzymes that catalyze or speed up chemical reactions, while others transport molecules across cell membranes. Still others fight off invaders like bacteria or help carry oxygen throughout the body. Ultimately, every trait you have, from the color of your eyes to your blood type, is determined by proteins that are coded for by your DNA. But why do all living things use the same DNA language? Scientists think it's because all life on Earth shares a common ancestor. We all evolved from a single cell that reproduced over and over until every living thing on Earth was created. Over billions of years, the sequence of bases changed, allowing new species to evolve. By comparing the DNA of different species, scientists can determine how closely related they are. The more similar the DNA sequences, the more closely related the species are. Sometimes the differences between 2 DNA sequences can even tell us how long it's been since the species diverged from a common ancestor. By comparing the DNA of humans and chimpanzees, for example, scientists have determined that the 2 species diverged about 6 to 8 million years ago. But DNA isn't just useful for determining evolutionary relationships. It can also be used to identify individuals. Every person's DNA is unique, except for identical twins. That's because the sequence of bases can vary a lot from person to person. Most of the time, these variations don't change the way a person looks or functions. They're what's known as silent DNA. But sometimes a change in the DNA sequence can cause a genetic disorder like cystic fibrosis or sickle cell anemia. By comparing the DNA of people with these disorders to those who are healthy, scientists are able to identify the genes responsible for the disorders and develop treatments to manage them. DNA is truly amazing. Not only does it hold the key to understanding life on Earth, but it also has the potential to save lives. As we learn more about DNA, we'll be able to use it to develop new and innovative ways to improve the quality of life for humans and other organisms. Thanks for watching this episode of SciShow, and thanks especially to our patrons for making it possible for everyone to keep learning for free. If you'd like to help support this channel, you can get started at our support page